A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 7th July 2020. Day is Tuesday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Voltaire. Common sense is not so common. I want you guys to observe this thing. You will find that most of the problems that we face in our lives are due to lack of common sense. You will observe this thing as well that many people, right? There are so many people, they don't use their common sense at all. And in small petty matters, they take things to such an extent that there is no point of return, like breaking of relationship and so many other things. So common sense, though the name is common, it is not so common. With this difference, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers a pre as well as mains examination. To find out more about it, download our mobile application. Till 10th July, EMI offer is also available. So make the most out of this EMI offer. To download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow my Telegram channel as well. Dear friends, please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. If you have learned something from today's discussion, hit the like button. And it's very important, dear friends, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The reason is that we make awesome videos throughout the day. You'll find so many great current affairs videos, and it's not just about being a student. You can share information regarding the videos that we cater to your family, to your friends, to any other person. If you are in a group or something, then you can share the link of our videos and you can inform people to subscribe to our channel. If you subscribe, if you hit the like button, how it works is you will get notification from YouTube, and once you get notification, somewhere in your mind you will get this thing noted that okay, you need to watch this video. If you don't have time, then you can, at the end of the day or whenever you are free, you can go through that notification bar and then you can check out the most important videos that you need to watch, so you'll never miss any updates. So this is how it works. With this difference, we have 6 important articles on our table, and then I'm going to take you through some important news items as well. So let's quickly start with this article. This one is from Hindustan Times, this newspaper, Hindustan Times. So it's not TH would be The Hindu, this is HT, that is Hindustan Times. And this one is from Telegraph, The Telegraph newspaper. And rest of this articles, 4 articles, are from the Hindu newspaper. So Assam floods. Now it's very sad to read this news item that millions of people in Assam, they are affected due to this recent floods, and 37 people, they have lost their lives as well. Do you know that 18 out of 33 districts are affected by floods in Assam? One of the main reason is river or rivers. As you can see on your screen, the biggest one is Brahmaputra, and then you have so many distributaries as well as tributaries. There is a difference between distributaries as well as tributaries. Distributary is a river that is taking away water from the main river, and tributary is a river that is adding its water to the main or bigger river. Okay, so this is a basic difference. Now, Assam is beautiful. I have never been there, but I have this banner or this photo that you can see on your screen in my computer, and it's been in my database for nearly 2-3 years now. Very beautiful picture on your screen. You can imagine the beauty of Assam from, if you like nature, then this Manas National Park, you have Nameri National Park, Kaziranga National Park, then of course Brahmaputra River is there, then you have Vermont National Park, that is Dibru Saikhova National Park, then you have this Majuli is, if I'm not wrong, of course it is India's biggest river island. As far as I know, it is one of the largest inhabited river island of the world as well. I want you guys to check the fact about this. Then you have this Dibrugarh beautiful tea plantations, and Bihu is a festival of Assam, and one of the most important thing that we don't normally means, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this fact, but you have this Hulan Gapar Gibbon Sanctuary. Now, Gibbon Sanctuary Gibbon is an ape. On your screen, you can see this is Gibbon, and I want you guys to YouTube Gibbon. I want you guys to listen to the voice of this Gibbon. It makes a sort of roaring sound, a big, loud sound, and that's the speciality of this Gibbon. Strong arms, and there are other beauty or other important things associated with this Gibbon. They are apes, remember. So you may find a question about this thing. I want you guys to take your time, but spend nearly 15-20 minutes. Do a little bit of research about some important things about Assam, and particularly this Gibbon Sanctuary. Okay, so you can see so many Brahmaputra and so many rivers here. Now, you should know all the names of the rivers that you can see on your screen. Now, you'd be wondering, means this is nearly impossible. There are so many rivers in our country. To remember all the names, it's not possible. I do understand, not all names are important. But these rivers that you can see on your screen, I want you guys to remember their names, is because, first of all, it is part of this current affair, right? I'm going to take you through some reasons as well why we see this situation in Assam. The other thing is, if you go through the facts, then you will find that at present, Kaziranga National Park, let me remove this whole thing. So this one here, Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Then you have Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. So it's not mentioned on your this picture, but I will write it down here if you want to dig a little bit more information about it. So Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, and then you have Manas National Park. So all these places, this number 1, number 2, and number 3, these places are nearly submerged, or big chunks of these places are submerged underwater because of this recent floods. So they can ask you questions about this, Manas and etc., the national parks and wildlife sanctuary of Assam. Now let's go through some reasons. Now also, you'd be aware about this fact that floods in Assam is it's a very common thing. It's an annual feature. So there are 3 natural reasons on your screen. The first one is heavy rainfall, of course, so more water will be added to these rivers. The second thing is Brahmaputra. It passes through so many variety of regions, so it brings with it water as well as silt. So it will deposit this silt, and so the water carrying capacity of a particular region will be less, so water will overflow and it will form a new river. Then the third thing is this whole area is prone to earthquake. So naturally the river is not stable. That means it will find new cracks, it will find a new path for its flow. So these are 3 man-made reasons. Natural reasons. Now we have 4 man-made reasons: dams, deforestation, embankment, and growing habitation along bank and sandbars. So because of this 4 man-made and 3 natural reasons, you can clearly see that the water will find its own space. And unfortunately, it's in this residential area because we have moved to this natural region or natural area. So what are we doing so far? Means why we find this thing every single year? Is there any long-term solution? Yes, there is one long-term solution. What we are doing is just a small piecemeal measures that we take, right? We are building embankments and we are dredging to control floods. Dredging basically means you take away the silt and soil and other things, and then you create more space. But this is all temporary. If you want to do something about this region, if you want to help, really want to help people of Assam and protect wildlife from this frequent floodings or this annual floodings, then We need to have one integrated basin management plan. Let me write it down here. Integrated basin management plan. And for that you need 4 countries, right? You need China, because this river starts from Tibet, then it enters India. Then before entering Bangladesh, if you observe this river here, this river adds water to Brahmaputra river. So you need to take on board Bhutan as well. Bhutan is also a stakeholder as far as this tributary is concerned. And then you have, of course, Bangladesh. So we need to have this integrated basin management plan between these 4 countries. If we don't do it, then this thing will keep on repeating again and again. Think about it. With this, dear friends, next topic is Beijing's gift to Hong Kong. First of all, let us locate Hong Kong. On your screen, you can see this is China here, and this is the portion where you find one is Macau. Macau is some 30-35 kilometers away from Hong Kong, as far as I know. I think there is a bridge as well that connects both this Macau and Hong Kong. Never been there. I have just heard about things about this Macau and Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong was under British rule till 1997. There was this 99 years lease. Under this 99 years lease, this Hong Kong region was under British rule, and it expired back in 1997. So it's been nearly 23 years since this Hong Kong territory is handed over by British government to China. So when this Hong Kong was, when this treaty took place between China and Britain, at that point of time, China said that China gave its commitment that we will control, or we will look after this Hong Kong under this one country, two systems model. So one country, that means Hong Kong is part of China. So it's one country, but there are 2 systems. China mainland is more authoritative, as we know, authoritarian regime. Hong Kong is, Hong Kong has been democracy, and Hong Kong is pride of Western world, because democracy, this modern democracy, is an idea that took place, its birth in Western world, and it flourished in Western world, and then we can see it has its it has spreaded in various different parts of the world. China represents a regime that is more authoritarian, and it wants to spread its own ideology in various different parts of the world. So Hong Kong is more important, because if you see recent past or recent geopolitics, then you find that this Western world versus China, or USA versus China, is quite visible. In background, we find, at surface level, it looks like it's just about USA versus China, and Hong Kong is totally different thing. But Hong Kong is also part of this big game. It's about democracy versus authoritative regime. Now, it was this 23rd anniversary of China getting control over Hong Kong, and during this phase, Hong Kong was gifted by China with this new national security law. At present, things, politically speaking, things are not that great in Hong Kong. Quick information about Hong Kong. You can see population is 7.2 million, so 72 lakh people living here. Area is not that big, 424 square miles, or 1098 square kilometer. Major languages, Chinese as well as English. Major religions, Buddhism and Taoism. Life expectancy is quite great, and currency is Hong Kong dollar. So there are a few points, and these points are are matter of concerns, particularly for democracies. It was passed without any consultation with this new national security law was passed without any consultation with Hong Kong. B. Severe restrictions on free speech. Now remember, free speech is very near and dear to the people of Hong Kong. They are not used to with the people of mainland. The way people of mainland, their life is quite different from people of Hong Kong, because they have been under democracy, under this British regime. And if you see that past 23 years as well, then they have enjoyed this democracy, they have enjoyed free speech, and things are quite more democratic in Hong Kong. If you go against China, if you are saying something about China, against China, then you can be thrown behind the bars. And the sad thing is that you will not get a fair trial. Trial will be in secret. Judges will be selected by your Hong Kong's chief executive, which are directly controlled by China, mainland China, or Beijing. And bail provision as well are nearly no bail provision if you go against China or this Beijing's regime. So you can imagine that this gift is very dangerous gift, and the points in the new law is in line with China's pursuit of an aggressive, expansive, geostrategic vision. Encroachment on Indian territory, which is going on at present. We are getting there slowly, but China is an expansionist regime or power. We'll talk about that particular point in our next topic as well. Periodic muscle flexing with South China Sea, which is quite common. Trade war with USA. So there are so many examples that indicates that China is, misbehaving with various different countries in the world. Canada has announced suspension of extradition treaty with Hong Kong. Britain has also said that the doors of UK are open for any of these Hong Kong citizens if they want to leave Hong Kong. If they want to leave this coercive arm of Beijing over Hong Kong, and if they want to enter UK, then they are more than welcome. So far, these are the things that are going on with Hong Kong, and this is the territory. I think I forgot to show you this thing. So you can see this border here, this whole region. This is all Hong Kong, right? Okay, you can zoom it up and then you can go through, or you can download the PDF and then you can go through this region. I want you guys to pay attention to this portion as well. Okay. Right, so let's move on to next article that is written by India's former Indian ambassador to United Nations. He was a special envoy for West Asia in Manmohan Singh's government. His name is C.R. Ghare Khan. So Mr. Ghare Khan quotes this tweet by China, and I think it's a joke. China has this is coming from Chinese ministry. I think it's from Chinese Foreign Ministry. Their tweet that hashtag China has a demarcated boundary with 12 of its 14 neighbors. China shares its boundary with 14 countries, and China is claiming that through peaceful negotiations, turning land borders into bonds of friendly cooperation, China has demarcated boundary with 12 of its 14 neighbors, which is a big joke. You see the situation that is going on in South China Sea. A few days ago, there was this controversy that China has claimed that this Vladivostok area in a city in Russia belonged to China back in 19th century. Then we know the things that are going on at LSE. If I'm not wrong, they used to have this problem with Pakistan as well back in history. I think we are talking about some... It's been nearly 40-50 years or something like that. But there was something I can remember. And if we go a little bit deeper, then you will find that China is having issue with other nations as well. This Central Asian countries with which it shares its boundary. It is, as far as I know, there is no single country. It means Bhutan is one of the tiniest country in the world, and China wants to grab Bhutan's land as well. So I think Mrs. Indira Gandhi, our former Prime Minister, she was right when she told Ghare Khan that I can think of a time down the road in future when we might have normal peaceful relations with Pakistan, but never with China, because China basically is an expansionist power. And she was, I think she's right. What she said so many years ago, so many decades ago is right. One thing that I want you guys to understand is that if you go through this article, then you will find some portions of this article, it may sound that this article is written to praise Mrs. Indira Gandhi or Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. But I have dropped those points. The reason I have dropped is, as far as your examination is concerned, they are not important. I want you guys to understand this topic, this article, from a very impartial point of view. See, you guys are preparing for civil services examination. Many of you are preparing for CDS. Some of you are preparing for banking exams. Maybe some of you are preparing for state level Public Service Commission exam like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, etc. Or maybe South Indian states, or maybe northeastern states, right? So it doesn't matter Jawaharlal Nehru's ideology or Prime Minister Modi's ideology, right? Of course, you should know, you should be aware about it. But you find people that, there are many people, they are not happy with Indira Gandhi, they are not happy with the Congress party, they are not happy with Jawaharlal Nehru, they don't agree with Mahatma Gandhi, and they are right, in their own way, in their own personal opinion, they are okay, they are right. That's what democracy is all about. There are so many people, they are not happy with Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, or Atal Bihari Vajpayee, or this RSS, or BJP regime, etc., or NDA. And they are right as well, right? They have this freedom of opinion in our country. That's what India is all about. But for you guys, you have to analyze things from impartial point of view. So there is no country, and I'll take you through some more important point about this impartiality. First of all, let me tell you this thing, and I want you guys to pay attention here, that when it comes to diplomacy, when it comes to international relations, there is no such a thing as trust. You cannot trust any country, right? Not even Bhutan. You cannot trust any country. You cannot, diplomacy or foreign affairs is all about our country's interest, right? It's all about India's interest. If you join Indian Foreign Services, then your job is to ensure that India's interests are always protected. That's your main core job. Like if you join police services, then your main job is security of your jurisdiction. In the same way, when you join Indian Foreign Services, the main thing, and when it comes to diplomacy, see, there are possibilities, right, in future. I'm not saying in next year or maybe next decade, I'm not sure. But in future, there can be a time when Pakistan and India can set example of friendship. Two best friends, two best friendly countries, Pakistan and India, or maybe India and China in future. At present, no. In future, yes. And many of you would think that that's impossible. There is nothing impossible, right? If you see the relationship, if you go back 70, 80 years ago, then you will find that someone would say the same thing about Germany and UK, Germany and France. But look at them now. They are best buddies, isn't it? In the same way, right, after 50 years, maybe after 20 years, the quicker that happens, it's going to be good for all of us. But this is also a thing that you need to keep in mind, that there is no permanent friend, there is no permanent enemy when it comes to diplomacy. Then, Jawaharlal Nehru, you know it very well that he was not, few days ago we were talking about this V.K. Krishna Menon and Jawaharlal Nehru, and he was not ready to accept this fact that China can attack us. He was talking about this intelligence source that he was having at that point of time, that China will not attack us, but China attacked our country back in 1962 and we lost that war, isn't it? So one thing that you have to understand, that whatever he was thinking at that point of time, it was right from his perception or government, right? It's all, when it comes to national interest, it's all about perception of that particular government at that particular time. National interest is that which the government of the day decides. Today's government believes in developing relationship with all strong countries. In future, you may see a government where climate change will be the biggest thing. At that point of time, future governments will develop a relationship with those countries who are, severely affected with this climate change issue. Maybe small, tiny nations. Maybe in future, USA will not be that important for our country, but micronesian countries will be more important. Island nations will be more important for our country. You never know in future. So it's all about this perception of national interest. It changes with time. Right, so these are the things that you need to keep in your mind. So no prime minister is wrong, no government is wrong. It's all about time. The best thing that means they take wrong decisions, right decisions, but at that point of time, those were the things that they thought were right. Moving on to another shocking article. It's not that shocking if you observe the society around us. Killing of 8 policemen by a criminal gang in Kanpur. It became a big news. Vikas Dubey or Vijay Dubey, something like that, the name of that gangster. And he's a big name, history sheeter, right? 5 dozen cases, 60 plus cases, murder, extortion, kidnapping, and still he is free. So this indicates that something is not right with our criminal justice system. The things that are not right, or if you go to this is my own experience, this is something that I have observed. Every single district in our country, you will find some sort of dada or some sort of this history sheeter. And these people are closely associated with politics, and they have huge influence over police as well. Because we have this triangle in our country: politics, criminals, and police. To win elections, you need to have some this criminals or goons. So they will help you with politics. And whenever criminals are in trouble, politicians will, because they control this home ministry, etc., they control this police. So politician will force police to leave these people. They will get stronger and stronger. Political parties will get stronger, and this machinery get weaker. But individual police persons, right, those who are inclined for or ready for corruption, they will get stronger. I know so many police personnel I've heard of, and I have seen them as well. They never wear uniform. They travel in their luxurious car. They have to be in that police jeep or something. But if something, even when they are doing their duty, they will use their personal Mercedes and expensive cars. So this is going on because they have good connection with politicians. So these gangsters, right, they are gangsters, or they became this big because they have the support of politics and police. And this is how it has been going on in our country. And what the most interesting thing is, if you want to improve the quality of overall governance, if you improve in our country, in our society, if you just improve the quality of policing, I'm sure you'll see a big difference in overall quality of governance, right? If you just improve policing, then you will see overall difference, right? Our life can become much easier, right? You will not find so many bad quality food items. You will not find bad roads. Nearly no accidents, right? No fear of, you can travel anywhere you like. It would be living in proper democracy, proper freedom, if we can just improve our policing. There are so many police personnel, right? Do you know this fact as well, that more police personnel, they lose their lives on regular basis? On an average, some 6 policemen die in our country. So imagine a society where uniformed personnel, a person who is trained with hand-to-hand combat, a person who is trained with guns, right? This person is, being killed by untrained persons. So you can imagine this hold of these criminals in our society. And the sad thing about this incident is that the gangster received information from someone from police. So you can see the deep influence of this corruption, and this not corruption of just money, corruption of mind, corruption of soul that we find in our system. We need proper training. Right, if you are going to hunt down a person like this big, who is against whom you have 60 cases, then you need to carry all these safety gears, and you need to have proper information. You may deploy drones, but we don't have this sort of resources. Not so many vacancies are still empty, and then whole system. We have different entry levels, right? Constable, then you become SI, that is sub-inspector level entry, then you have this deputy superintendent, IPS system. All these things, if you ask me, then we don't need this IPS system and all these things, right? Just reading few books and you become IPS officer. You need to have a training, like you join one entry level. All of us, every one of us can join at the level of constable. And based on your performance, you will climb up. Then you will become rank, you will become commissioner based on your performance, not just by cracking a particular examination. So, but this will take time. I'm talking about future. Okay, moving on. WHO. Mr. Trump is not happy with WHO. WHO, he has said that China has always engaged in secrecy, deception and cover-up, and WHO is China-centric. There are so many Chinese people working at various different, the staff of WHO, you will find that so many Chinese people are working there, and this is a way of taking over a particular organization. You inject your people in it, and then they will do what your country wants to do with so many different things. So this is how it has been going on with WHO. The sad thing is that WHO was praising China, that China has done quite well in controlling this coronavirus, but reality at present, the research is saying that all these things are like, it's a nexus between WHO and China, or China has took over WHO. WHO said that China is setting a new standard for outbreak response, but all these things are fake. And at present, the latest scientific evidence strongly suggests that outbreak of this COVID-19 or this coronavirus took place back in November 2019, and the world came to know about it after 2 months, after some two and a half months after that. So this is crucial time. If China would have shared this information earlier on, back in November 2019, then the world means there are chances, like if you can imagine that things would have been quite different. But because of their secrecy, the whole world is suffering from it. And Mr. Trump has said this thing, and this is a news item that I have joined with this, that Mr. Trump has said that at present USA, in USA you have some 30 lakh people who are affected by coronavirus, and the main reason is he's blaming China for not sharing right information at right time. Moving on to next item before the next health crisis. Dear friends, do you know this thing that more people die because of air pollution than coronavirus or COVID-19, and this is for China as well. More people have died because of air pollution than COVID-19. Now they are saying that scientists are saying that there is a relationship between air pollution, COVID-19 infections and death rates. If you see New York City, northern provinces of Italy is quite, northern provinces are the people there, they love their cars. There is a sort of culture of having 2-3 cars per household or per person. So more cars than people in some parts of Italy. So air pollution is quite high. Same thing goes with New York as well. And if you observe COVID-19 spread in our country, more people are dying in Delhi, Maharashtra, this Mumbai and Ahmedabad and Tamil Nadu's big cities, because these all places are quite polluted. Out of 20 most polluted cities of the world, 14 are just in our country. And air pollution is killing 9 million, that is 90 lakh people or more than that. Let's say 1 crore people die every year because of air pollution. So it is quite it's more dangerous, and it's everywhere, right? Air pollution, coronavirus is not everywhere, but this air pollution is everywhere. And India is a very vulnerable country to climate change. We are at rank 5 when it comes to vulnerable country to climate change. Now see how it destroys this particulate matter 2.5. 2.5 is the size, so it is micrometer 2.5. Our this whole respiratory system, we have this this safety, not safety, but that's this filter system in our nose. So the hairs and other things that we find, like hairs in our nose, is like 70 micrometer in size. So this PM 2.5 is, this PM particulate matter is 2.5 micrometer, hair is 70 micrometer, so it can easily pass this filter system, and it can reach our lungs, and then it can create these cardiovascular diseases. Locust swarm, one of the product of climate change. Europe reported its first local transmissions of dengue back in 2010. Again, climate change. And a country like India, we are vulnerable. At the same time, we are not doing enough after health. We are just spending 1.6% of our GDP after health. And when it comes to Global Health Security Index 2019, most countries, including India, failed the test of readiness for health disasters. So you can imagine we are living in a very dangerous situation. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Yang Yi discussed border issues in a telephonic conversation last Saturday. Disengagement is going on. Cyber incidents have gone up, has been said by Gulshan Rai, who is Chief Information Security Officer in PMO. US National Security Advisor, former John Bolton, has said that China is known to engage in a range of unacceptable behavior. Foreign Secretary said that more diplomatic meetings are going online, or they are using this online digital platform at present because of this COVID-19. Afghanistan has praised India for fighting COVID-19 and has requested Prime Minister Modi to extend more help. And then you have some headlines from various different newspapers, like corona can spread via air as well, has been said by scientists, but WHO is not ready to admit it. UGC go ahead to final exam across veracities, online, offline, or blend of both. COVID-19 tests across 1 crore in our country, and a rise of this self-use or do-it-yourself sort of products has gone up. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.